Let me know when we're live. It's been going pretty quick lately.
Live.
All right. Fade me. Fade Chaz. Fade out music. And bam.
Perfect.
It is April something.
25.
25. I'm Chris.
I'm Charlie.
And we are.
Eight ballin'. That's
You know, I got to tell you, since the shelter in place thing, I'm like in the best mood I've been in since we've done one of these. I think we've both been like in this adjustment period, you know, where it's just been weird, and I'm feeling less and less weird, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but getting used to the new normal.
Yeah, it's I wish I could say the same. I'm feeling especially cabin fevery today, so I got my lumberjack shirt on, cabin shirt on, but no, things are fine. It's just getting a little old. I'm like, I want to go. I want to see people, you know? I don't want to be just me all the time.
You know what? I like going to the hardware store. I want to go to the hardware store and buy some like fasteners because I want to there's nuts and bolts shit I want to fix and fix better. You know, you ever heard the term, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is?
Yeah.
I've kind of got that DNA. So I need to get the hardware, and I want some light bulbs. And I got a bulb in this guy. Finally.
Oh, the smaller or less bright one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just want to, like you said, just go out. I want to go to the hardware store. I want to go to Ace.
Dude, yeah, I know. And I like even being at the hardware store just in general. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I don't know. I guess most guys probably feel like that. They're like, oh, cool. Look at this shit. Like, oh,
It's a place where it's like the catalyst to getting shit done.
exactly. Yeah, you're going to do a project. Yeah.
You know, I don't want to make commitments on behalf of anybody else. But Brian and I were talking about, and I don't know if we can do it now. I mean, you might get pulled over. Was talking about going someplace to go shooting that isn't a range, you know, and just shoot at random targets. And his ex and her new husband have a place with lots of land, like hour and a half north of here. He's like, let's just go up. And he's like, you can just park in the grass and be 20 feet from me and have all your shit ready, and I'll park and I'll set out targets and we can shoot. If there's room for a third, I'll let you know. And we can all park 20 feet apart and totally do social distancing and go have some fun.
That'd be cool.
Because
yeah.
fuck this weather,
That'd be a lot of
man.
fun.
It's supposed to be close to 70 now. Average high temp now is like 68, 69.
That's
Getting
snow
old.
The last couple of weeks. Not a huge fan.
Even to just go outside. I'm sorry, I totally talked over you.
No, I was done. I said it's snowing last week. It's just like I want sunshine and heat, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still cold, whatever.
Right. Even just to go outside. And the deck is finally, it's 99% done. It's awesome. And just to be out there, have a drink, cook a steak.
Yeah.
I want to cook a steak, man. Outside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so here we are, sheltered inside. Yeah, the one thing I'll say is my neighborhood is more active in terms of people walking around than even in summertime, I think. That's something. Gets the dogs to bark.
Yeah, it's when I look out the window, it's more often than not there's somebody standing outside or walking or whatever, riding a bike.
Yeah. It's funny, one guy was wearing a mask. And I was like,
I think that's silly. Yeah.
well, I mean for walking, because you can go to the other side of the street. You can be 20 feet away from people.
That's what I'm saying. You're just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah,
here we are, and I'm in a good mood. And I got shit done. I've been ordering stuff off Amazon like nobody's business, but just like small things, like water filters and air filters and little bullshit stuff for the house. Got all that unpacked. I'm ready to go. Ready for you to start coming here and
There you
sitting next to me.
I know. It's just, it's funny doing the whole, like, I don't know. The setup is funny. And I feel like I had more stuff. Am I missing props? Trying to see it on there.
Well, you mean where the eagle and the hourglass are now? You had the globe,
No,
the
over
shaka.
right in my. Yeah, I got the.
They're cropped
the
out.
globe. What the hell?
They're cropped out. You
I
want
don't
me
even
to?
know where the hell that is.
You want me to move you over?
No, you're fine.
I can do it.
Um,
I'll fucking do it.
fucking make my. It doesn't matter. I was just. It felt like I was missing something.
Or your camera. Shift your laptop a little. Grab the shaka hand. There you go. Shaka hand. You're more centered anyway. Where's the globe?
There you go. I have no idea. That's.
Where's the globe? Where's the globe? Now we're talking. All the difference in the world.
Booyah.
In the big picture, one day. Maybe there is no big picture. Maybe you're making it up.
I have it. It's just above my bed. I have to like
Lift
undo
it?
all that. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you
I
gotta,
have to
gotta
do
lift something.
lift
You-
more than a spoon into my mouth. Yeah, it's tough.
Oh my. All right, so give me the Biden thing. So we did no show prep.
Yes.
I do want to rail on Morning Joe. Don't let me forget that. The 1 minute in and the 6
worries,
minute
I said
in.
something today.
And then there was something. I had an imaginary conversation. It was like primo me in the morning with somebody. Well, we can get into that. Well, let's just do this. Did you ever hear the position that people have taken, and this is semi-recent, because like the whole social justice warrior thing has settled down a little bit, but somebody has taken the position, and damn, don't touch it. All right, we're in a state of disrepair for the show. If it ain't broke, fix it till it is. See. Okay, so if you're like a straight guy, and let's say there's a transgender, so a guy's transitioned to a woman, okay? Still full on penis, right? But has transitioned in terms of identity, social, all the social aspects that go with it, name, dress, all that stuff. So fully transitioned, but not done the bio part of it. It has been suggested a number of times, and maybe you've heard this, but it's a conversation worth having, that if you're straight and you would not be willing to date that woman, and you would have a problem with the relationship becoming physical, that you're transphobic.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
What the fuck? I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in a human being with a dick. It doesn't work for me.
I'll go out on a limb and say I can join you there. Yeah, I think that's been around for a few years, but I think the people who propagate that or like put that claim out there are the people who aren't, the people that you're talking about leading those movements, saying, hey, if you're not willing to fool around, you're the one who's got an issue, not me. I don't know.
And you're right. You're probably right, because I don't think any rational trans person, I think it's just people speaking on behalf of people that don't want to be spoken for, which is also insane.
Yeah.
But who would want to be with somebody who really doesn't want to be with them? Nobody. Right?
Unless you're really hurting for a good time, but yeah. I don't know. It's just ridiculous, I think. And
it is.
throw that back at somebody, like shame them into whatever. I don't even know. I don't even know what the point is. You're
right.
Just,
the point is, for that set of circumstances, you're just transphobic. For a different set of circumstances, you're just racist. For a different set of circumstances, you're just this, that, or whatever. It just had me all torqued up this morning.
I'm glad that I went through that already so that I can kind of like stay calm when I read that shit nowadays. Just gotta
That will
disregard it. It's
that will
so
never
ridiculous.
stop turning my knobs. Period. Irrationality and hypocrisy just fucking get under me.
Yeah,
And-
the hypocrisy is rough.
Yeah.
I like better the, like that. What is it? Don't throw stones in a glass house. What is it?
Yeah, people in glass houses should not throw stones.
Shouldn't throw.
Yeah.
So it's like you're the one who's telling this person that they're doing the wrong thing because they're unwilling to perform a sexual act with you.
I got
Meanwhile,
to
you're trying to get them to perform a sexual act with you to keep them from doing something wrong, the problem that you created. Might not necessarily be the case. Like you said, I would imagine it's the first thing that you said, not interested in that specific set of genitalia, but
Right.
yeah.
I will even say, and I don't know if I told you this, I told somebody this. I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and forgive me while I fiddle with this, but I can't. Shit that's wrong really bothers me. I'm a little OCD about certain things. Where was I? Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy. So there were two gay doctors that were in a relationship. And that's fine. I don't give a shit. I mean, there's gay relationships. But, there's biology to this, right? So two young, resident doctors doing their thing, and certain scenes in movies just sometimes less is more, and much of the time you get the picture without going too far. And where I'm going with that is even in just a regular sex scene, two hetero men and women. Two people going hand in hand, and you close the door. I mean, we all know what happens from there.
Right. I was just going to say, what's going on there?
Right. So certain sex scenes, to me, just detract from it. You close the door, you know what's happening, you don't need to get into. And one of the scenes I think of is like Top Gun, where they're just showing bellies and bodies rubbing, and it's like.
I forgot that has
just,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, let's have porn, or just close the door and just leave the rest to imagination. Right? Because if you're fucking 12 or 13, or 14, whatever the age is, you know what goes on. So anyway, Grey's Anatomy. I'm thirsty. Forgive me. And so these two residents, they go into the doctor's locker room, resident's locker room, and then they start and one of them has a beard and one has scruff, and they start kissing, and then but they're both open mouth, and they both, this is exaggerating, but it's and they come in 10 feet apart, mouths wide open, tongues out as far as they can possibly be. And then they show the kissing, and they show two man faces rubbing. And I will tell you, I had a visceral reaction. And I think this is just biology. I don't give a fuck if people are gay. I don't give a fuck what they do behind closed doors. But I don't want to see it, and that skeeved me out. I had it was a visceral reaction. And it's not homophobic. It's just, it was a biological response to something that for me was unnatural. And it was really, did you have to go that far? You could have had them go into the locker room and then start to embrace and just cut it off. Because at that point, I'm one, I don't want to watch this, so I turned the channel. And two, I was what's with forcing this shit? TV shows are doing it now. They're just shoving it down your throat. And you know,
I'm
I
not-
could give a
yeah.
fuck if you're gay or trans or fuck bestiality. You know, if nobody gets hurt and you're kind to the dog, fucking have at
Whoa.
it. You know. No, but I mean, I don't care,
Paying
man.
for rent. No.
I don't care.
Yeah.
To each his own.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Right. As long as you're not hurting me, that's cool. But yeah, there's sometimes sex scenes in movies. You ever seen the movie 300?
I've seen part of it.
So they're in the beginning. It's like this gory ass war movie, you know, about the 300 Spartans, whatever. I'm sure everybody knows that. But it's like a war movie. And then in like the beginning of the movie, before he goes off to the hot gates or whatever, there's like a 5 minute long, or I don't know about 5 minutes, but a few minutes long, like a graphic sex scene. And I'm like, what the fuck is this belong? Why does this belong in this movie?
It's two
What's
men.
the point? No. It's the King Leonidas and his wife.
Oh, okay.
It's, you know, whatever. And still, it's like, this is.
But it's a
throwing
war
me off.
movie,
I'm trying.
right?
Yeah, I'm trying to watch. You just like cut a dude's head off, and now you're like visually seeing what's going on else. But
Dungeon midget sex.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. I actually
Oh
don't
my.
mind that in my movies. I prefer it.
Midget sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Disingenuous news update. I haven't done one of these in a while. And I told you about this and I forgot to do it last week. So now, a week and a half ago, I'm watching Morning Joe, getting my dose of my girlfriend Mika, and Joe's on. And I got to bring up Trump too. So as you know, not a Trump fan at all. That said, things are what they are, right? Facts and data, things are what they are. So at 6:01, I tune in, and the third word I hear is Trump. And Joe Scarborough is saying how badly he's fucked up everything on this coronavirus. He's going through timelines and just totally, saying what a fuck up, vilifying the guy, and on and on. Then at 6:07, 6 minutes later, he starts down a different road, and you know this, but for the show, he starts down a different road, and he starts painting a pretty vivid football analogy, and he gets right into it, and he says, so in the middle of the game, Donald Trump takes his jersey off in the middle of the field and leaves the game. He leaves the team, jersey off. He's resigned from the game. So his first analogy was he's in charge and he's fucked it all up. And 6 minutes later, he's saying he's taken his jersey off and he's left the game. And that was in reference to relegating, delegating, whatever you want to call it, to the governors. Which is the way it should be, and which is the way the Constitution is technically set up to do. But anyway, so he's in charge and he's a fuck up, and then he is not in charge and walked away. So which is it?
And where are
He's
you?
in charge and he fucked up,
Right.
or he's not in charge, in which case he's not responsible. Fucking pick one. But the two of them are mutually exclusive. He was in charge and he fucked up. He is not in charge and he fucked up by not being in charge and relegating to the states. Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, you were
No,
about
I
to
hear where
say.
you're coming from. It's gone now, but I saw something else with them this morning. I wish I could remember what it was when I was going through the news.
Oh, one other thing.
Um,
Trump, he tried to back his way out of it. Did you see the comment he made about ingesting or injecting or whatever?
Lysol.
Oh, yes.
It
Disinfectants?
had to have been a fucking joke. I did not see it, but
It was not a joke. It was not a joke. And he was looking at that woman, his she's not CDC, but she's like the White House. I don't know if she's the Attorney General.
medical. Yeah, I know her.
Whoever she is. He's looking at her. And it's very, very, very obvious. She is horrified. he's not joking. He's like, he said maybe like it would be a shock to the system and it would make the virus. And, he's like, and he's thinking like, maybe I'm being brilliant here. Maybe I'm being brilliant. He's like a fucking 12-year-old. I just thought I might have just fixed the whole thing. And then the next day he's like,
I'm the best.
Right. The next day he was like, no, it was just in response to, I was just bantering with, one of the press people who was pushing the envelope. You got to see it, man. You got to see it.
I will watch it. Before you said that about banter with the press, there's one of my favorite clips of all time. It's the same setup. He's standing there, she's at the podium. He's off to the side, and he's going. He's like, it goes on this 5-minute rant about all these people with the social distancing. We can't have this going on so long. We need all these press people back in here because they miss me. They really want to be here. And it's everything he's saying. He sounds earnest, right? But it's just fucking, he's just BSing. And then after he's finished all saying this shit, I gotta send it to you. I'm not describing it at all, but he took up, it was at least 2 minutes that he just talked while she's
and she's at the podium just what's going on,
what the fuck's going on, and he's just enjoying himself in that moment for this stupid joke that, because it's so petty and tiny, it was hilarious. And then he turns around, Bill Barr, or Attorney General Barr, turns around, he's like, and Barr's like, yeah.
And
he's probably fucking around, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. So I don't know. I can't know for sure that he wasn't joking around, but I will tell you, I personally believe with 99.99 on forever certainty that he was not, that he thought he might be saying something clever. Anyway, you got to watch it. I can't know. It's impossible to know, right?
I can picture it. He's talking first, and then the thought forms in his mind, and while he's saying it, he looks over to her for approval, and she's like, no.
That's
so
exactly what happened.
And inject it, and does that sound... no.
No, she didn't even go to no. She was so horrified by the absurdity of the comment. She's like, I can't believe this is happening. It's beautiful. It's just classic.
She seems like a kind of an airhead, though. Single-minded.
But I haven't seen her enough to formulate opinion. That very well could be. But you just got to see it. Fucking injecting Clorox or whatever. Oh my God, man. Not a good idea.
He's like, it was a test. You passed it. That was just doing. I'm just doing God's work there.
And he's just. This is nothing new, nothing I haven't said before. But the way he's being president is the way he has run, the way you build hotels and casinos. He's just in charge, and he says shit, and he says grandiose stuff and big stuff and do this and do that. But he's not, he's building a hotel. He's not trying to run a country with a bazillion moving parts. It's a hotel. And then he goes to, Jared or whoever's on the staff, and he's like, so all that shit I said, just fucking make it happen, right?
But I would say that if you're the president, your best skill, if you can have a skill that you could be the best person in the world at, delegating responsibility is probably one of the things, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the best thing you can do is the best thing you can do as president is surround yourself with the absolute most competent people. And my understanding is, go ahead.
I was going to say that's why I think his cabinet's always freaking going in and out. What's the average lifespan of one of his cabinet members?
Right, he does not
as soon as you've used up your worth, you're gone. Well,
and he does not like not feeling like he's the smartest guy in the room. So if somebody says, well, actually, Mr. President, 2 + 2 is 4, he'd be like, all right, you're fired.
How do you spell your last name? Right.
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 Take a note.
Yeah,
anyway.
Write that down. Yeah.
So.
I think it's kind of lost on me because I feel like I'm living on the outside watching this as a movie that's going on. it's not
think
really
a-
affecting me. Like I'm not, it just is like the whole everything coronavirus, Trump, whatever. It's like a freaking movie. I don't know.
Well,
Hilarious shit.
there are certain things going on right now that are approaching a level of bizarreness, if that's the word, that I agree with that. But, I mean, you've gotten to know me. Things get me torqued more than a lot of people, and I'm able to set it aside, but it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to get back torqued up in front of a microphone, But yeah,
That,
when
that
you
is
watch the
fucking
guy,
stupid.
I feel less like I'm watching a movie and more like I can't believe this dude's president. I can't fucking believe this dude's president. I struggled to watch him on The Apprentice because he was such a buffoon.
When I was younger, I wouldn't say whatever, in high school, we would watch it in business class, and I was like, "Who's this fucking guy?" But now that I kind
The
of
Apprentice?
understand, yeah, I was like, "Who even is Donald?" I didn't even know who he was. Right? I just knew the name, and I was just like, didn't like who he was, and then I started catching on to like his style. I think he is hilarious. Like he's a hilarious guy, but the Lysol shit, that's not smart. Because what the fuck? He should know that those two people we talked about the hydroxychloroquine. What the hell is it?
Hydrochloroquine?
Hydrochloroquine, whatever it
Hydroxychloroquine.
was.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, there you go. That old couple drank the fish cleaner
Right.
because it had a whatever it
Or
had.
they died.
whatever
I
in
shouldn't
it.
laugh.
No,
Yeah.
I mean that's something that he should think about. Joke or no joke. That would be the responsible thing. Like,
'Cause there
keep
are
that in your
people
mind.
that-
Yeah, just take your word for it.
Yeah, he's a president. Smart guy. Got to listen to him. Yeah.
The president said, I don't know why I did
Yeah,
his
the
voice
thing
for
is, yes,
Very
he's
polite, though.
funny. He's funny in a clown suit kind of way. To me, he can be funny in an intentional way, but he's also just his own. He's his own reality show when he opens his fucking mouth. Especially as the president. So, it is what it is. It is
What I
it
see
is.
it as is he's the puppet master and the puppet, but like everybody else is the audience. Whenever he's doing
Yeah,
the
but
press
it-
corps thing,
But there's
It's
this
there-
disconnection, right? There's like this. He's got timing problems. Like, so you're right. He's got the strings. He's controlling himself, but he's like his timing's off, and so it's like just all fucked up and discombobulated.
I'm gonna send you the one that I was talking about, where he's just talking about like how he needs to get the press back in, and he's like, actually, maybe that's a bad idea, maybe fewer, I don't know, maybe not so much. It's freaking funny. He does a good job. I'll send it to you, but either way, he should be more careful with shit like that.
He
Getting
should.
medical recommendation.
The one thing I'll say, do you know who Ben Carson is? If I have the name, no, not Ben
Yes.
Carson, not Ben Carson. Ben Carson is the black guy, right? He's a doctor.
HUD secretary. Yeah.
Who's the guy? He's been on a lot of podcasts. He was a Navy SEAL. He's now a congressman from Texas. He's got an eye patch.
Dan Crenshaw.
Dan Crenshaw, yes.
Crenshaw.
I love that guy. I love that guy, man. And he was talking about
He's a
there are
good-looking
certain
dude,
things.
too.
He's a fine-looking man. There are certain things. So I really try to, if Trump succeeds, the country succeeds. If Trump fails, the country fails. And Obama wasn't. I had nothing against Obama. He didn't get under my skin. I liked him for the first couple of years of his first term. And he meant well. And he was a smart guy in terms of intellect. So I cheered for him because if he succeeds, the country succeeds. Right? I struggled to cheer for Trump, but at the same time, I got to support the office because if he succeeds, the country succeeds. And people lose sight of that.
Simple as that. Yeah.
And if you're Republicans and there's a Democratic president in office and all you're doing is trying to block the shit that he's trying to put through, then you're not helping the country. If your agenda is and your mantra is, I'm just going to be a roadblock to this guy, then you're wasting 4 years. You're wasting 4 years of moving this country forward. And regardless of, Democrat, Republican, and, Republican, Democrat, that is bad. That's bad. It's bad for the country. You're in D.C.
I have
to
to
serve the
disagree.
country. You disagree?
Yes. Parties exist for a reason. There's two at minimum. At its core, most simplest value, there's two flags, right? Two parties. One party believes this way. The only reason there's two is because they don't agree on everything. So when you're trying to pass legislation that the other side disagrees with, your job as the opposition is to do what you can for your constituents, people that elected you. If it goes against your values, like trying to pass universal base income, is that what it is, UBI? Stop that shit. That's your job. You are supposed to block that. Now, you said if you're only acting as a roadblock, I agree. That's not helpful. But
No, I
you should do it in a way that's effective.
I completely agree with you. The checks and balances in the diametric opposition on certain platforms, I totally agree with. It's a system of checks and balances that's supposed to work that way. But trying to stop somebody and not getting on board with something you might otherwise be on board with to simply indirectly further your party is fucked up. Just do what's best for the country.
It's not even that. It's just optics. Yeah.
Vote what
I
you're
try to
for.
stop him from doing his thing.
Yeah, vote what you're for and vote against. Vote for what you're for, vote against what you're against, but don't do it along party lines. Do it along, again, to the extent that it's a party core value that you embrace, fine. It is what it is. And like you said, representing your constituency. And oh, by the way, don't forget that most votes are, 50-some% to 40-some%.
Right.
And usually it's really fucking close. Like 55-45, that's broad. So, if we're rounding, half of your constituents are the people who didn't vote for you.
Well, and you're right. And that's why point is do the right thing. Don't just block for the sake of blocking. If it's whatever, if it's the right thing, then go ahead and do it, be with it. But, yeah. You know what I'm trying to say.
Everything you said, I totally agree with, right? The purpose of people going to D.C. is not to go and pass, 50 laws.
Every fucking thing.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't need more laws for the sake of having laws. We don't need bigger government and on and on. And you and I agree on that. But to just roadblock people for the purpose of he's not my party, he's not my president, and I'm going to stop everything he does, whether it's good for the country or not, is fucked up.
And that was the first 2.5, 3 years of his freaking administration.
Republicans
still got
did
some
it to
shit done.
Obama. Democrats did it to Bush. That's when it started getting bad. It started getting bad with Bush. It wasn't so bad with Clinton and before. It didn't seem. And you probably weren't paying attention. And I actually wasn't paying as close attention because it just didn't seem to be a thing. It just wasn't there to pay attention to. That's how
I was literally going to say. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I was going to say that in increased media coverage, you have to be more visibly doing your job if you're going to be on camera all day, 24/7. You got a Twitter. People can reach you whenever from anywhere in the world. Now, obviously, you only get to worry about the people in America, but when you're I think it's just easier. You don't have to think that much either about whether or not it's right or wrong. You don't have to read bills, I guess. I don't know what the intricacies of the daily job being a congressman or a senator, but if you're just gonna vote down one side, you look like a staunch or I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican and that's who I am and that's the end of it.
I agree. These
wouldn't matter if
things have
no one
changed
freaking knew.
so much, right? Because we're just instant, tweets, Facebook, the news, whatever. You're right. I totally agree. It's just right. The appetite for clickbait and gotchas and all that stuff. really drives what is going to make you a success. And people operate, in the moment and in the day. It's not like they're not operating in the week and the year. Just people's attention spans are, they're this long,
Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say? I'm joking.
right?
Sorry.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of whatever. I think it's going to work out the way it's going to work out, whatever. Definitely changed shit. I would have liked to see it the old way, back before. I was eating dinner with my family the other day, and afterwards we were hanging out, and it was like looking around the room, and then there's 5 of us, and the other 4 were all just like this. It was so sad.
After dinner or while you were eating?
Yeah, after dinner, and we were all in the same room too. Like, I had a long day of work. Solitude, Fortress of Solitude.
Ready for some human interaction?
Hell yeah, and then but who knows? It's done a lot of good. That's for damn sure. I think more good than bad overall.
The phones?
Anyway, yeah, hell yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at, I was talking with this woman at work, and we were working on a PowerPoint together. And I said, don't take this the wrong way, but if this were like 40 years ago, I said, first of all, if this were 40 years ago, you'd be a man in the position you're in. And she laughed. And I said, we would not be doing this. Our secretaries would be doing this. And then she said, yeah, but the thing is, it would take longer to tell your secretary what to do, and then you'd wind up changing everything to the way you want it, that it's just faster to sit here and bang it out together. And I'm like, you're right. And where I'm going with this is phones, like, I can answer my email on my phone from anywhere in the world, and 40, 50 years ago, those were all telephone conversations. And you didn't have call waiting where you knew who was calling. And anyway, the point being, so much productivity has been created. So this woman and I banged out this PowerPoint presentation, on computers that are instantly slides that we get on, and we're having a conference call, I think later that day or the next morning, with this digital presentation that is being shared all around Metro Detroit, and could be anywhere around the world or country or world. And you just, with photos and all this data, and we're changing spreadsheets on the fly that everybody's looking at on screens. And 20 years ago you couldn't do that. It's amazing. So
yeah, no, it's great.
So yes,
you can send anything anywhere at the click of a button. Yeah, but
including porn.
There you go. That might have been, we might have overstepped there. I don't know. It's just eventually going to die off. But then there you go, Tinder. So it's balance. Life's about balance. You got
exactly.
All that, and you have, people are still getting together.
So the productivity and the enjoyment, and look how much fun everybody was having at dinner last night when 4 out of the 5 were, watching porn. And nobody had to agree on watching it on the big screen,
That's really why I was uncomfortable. It wasn't just the phones. It was what they were doing. But, didn't want to say that.
Somebody wants guy on guy, somebody wants bestiality, somebody wants, so you don't have to all agree. You can just all, to each his own on your phone. God bless them.
That's the beauty of it right there. You have your own account. Yeah. Infinite amounts.
Did you?
I wonder what percentage of the internet is. Never mind.
Who knows? I don't want to know, man.
I was just gonna, I bet you it's, I'm not even kidding. I bet you it's the vast majority.
I don't want to know. I don't know because
65%.
The reality could be really, really sad.
Anyway,
did you
we
think
can move
to?
on.
Did you think to the 4 people to say, okay, right now, stop, everybody, time out. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? And what are you looking at? Just to see, somebody's probably, looking at Twitter. Somebody's probably, watching YouTube. Somebody's maybe watching a movie or a show. Did they have headphones on or earbuds in?
No, nobody watches movies on their phone. It's like Candy Crush, probably, Twitter, email, text. So it's
I
all
don't-
like,
I don't even know what Candy Crush is. What's Candy Crush?
it's just a game. It's like a little whatever phone game.
Okay.
My mom likes, she's got her iPad. She likes to play crossword puzzles, stuff like that, which is fine. That's good. But yeah, and then I would imagine my dad's probably reading the news. That's what he does, reading about some shit. And Gordy and Brendan probably either talking to their friends or on Twitter or Reddit, something like that. But I was like, in the moment, I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "What the hell?" They're like, whatever.
Well,
Long day.
if your mom had had, like, the Sunday paper or whatever, the weekend paper,
Same type of thing, yeah.
and your dad had had a magazine, and that would have seemed normal. That's the only thing, because if she's doing a crossword puzzle on her phone, before she would have had a piece of paper, and if your dad was reading the news, he would have had the TV on or would have had a magazine. So maybe that part of it is more natural and more the way things have been, but the phone just makes it efficient. But yeah,
Right. And
the last time Sherry and I were in Florida, we were at a restaurant, and it was very, very, I don't know, it could have been a local couple, but young couple, 20s. They come in the restaurant, they get seated, and it's like kind of medium nice. It's nothing fancy, but nice seafood place. They sit down and immediately both take out their phones, and they're both like this, and they're at dinner together. And it's like, fuck, what are you doing? I don't know. It's just
that's
weird.
fucked up.
Because they
No,
went
you're right.
someplace together, and you're presumably there to be together, to share a meal together.
You could
Right.
totally do a comedy sketch, like meet up, Tinder, whatever, text, and then they meet up to go out to dinner, and then they're just texting each other across the table on the phone. It is a different form of communication, other than it's like text talk is very, very, very different from the way you communicate with words. It's I don't know, but yeah, it's just sad. I'm so good at that. If we're at dinner, I'm not, the shit's in my pocket. I think it's disrespectful.
I
Especially if
agree.
you're on a date. Yeah, it's like reading the news is one thing, but the main thing about the phone is you're in the moment with someone else, and you could be communicating with 1,000 other people anywhere else. You're connected with other people who aren't in the room, and it's like you're getting taken away. It's so weird, natural, but
You know what's interesting to me? You just made me think of it, and I've thought about this before, is the word phone. So if you say phone now, and it used to be smartphone, now it's just phone, it's this with all its functionality, right? And before, phone was a thing on the wall. And at any point in your life, was like the phone, the thing that was on the wall that you picked up and you push the buttons?
we had a house phone. It wasn't on the wall, but it sat on the counter.
Okay. Was that the main form of communication, or at that point were you talking on your own cell phone? Like if you wanted
It
to
was
talk to a
dying
friend?
out when I was growing up. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, for most of my life, the phone was something that sat on a table or hung on the wall that you picked up, and all it could do was talk to one person. So if you said to somebody who's 15 years old today, that's a phone, and they'd be like, no, it isn't. Yeah, it is. No, it isn't. No, where's the screen? That's a phone. That's a
What
phone.
is that?
This
The
is what a
iPhone
phone is now.
500?
That was a phone for 100 years. No, it wasn't.
And it did a damn good job.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the new model, but yeah.
Did you know?
Shit
Have you
just
ever
changed.
seen
I don't know,
old?
it's the way of life.
Have you ever seen old shows with switchboards?
Yes. I
Yeah,
just
so you
finished
would have a
watching Mad Men. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have a physical line to your house, and there'd be like a hole and literally a wire, and it'd be like Chris McKay's, Chris McKay. So Charlie would call up, Mabel would answer, "Hi, Charlie, what can I do for you?" "Yeah, I want to talk to Chris McKay." And she'd go, "Okay," and she'd plug you in. She'd plug you in, and then take the other one. It was like taking a thing and joining us together, literally, like
Yeah,
hooking
no.
us up.
It's, it's so like. I will say this. On its face, it seems like more complex, but that's a freaking ton of work to do that. I mean, all the infrastructure, and you actually like have people do that shit. But then you think about the technology and how much time went into developing. You know, what they coming out with 5G now? Yeah, shit like that. It's just
And-
easier.
And at the time, that was high tech. And 50 years before that, they were doing fucking Morse code on a telegraph. And 100 years before that, they're doing fucking smoke signals and Pony Express and, you know?
Carrier
Just-
pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking, yeah, shit's changed so fast in the last 20 years.
It's gonna keep getting faster too, no doubt. I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
it's they come out with the new thing before the old one has been perfected.
Yeah, it seems to me that the jumps in technology, the leaps and bounds aren't as huge. It doesn't seem to me. I mean, it seems like we went up and then we flattened, then we went up. I think we're in a flattening curve right now. Who the fuck knows? You know, maybe AI or something's going to be the next up where we're just like bodies in pods like the freaking Matrix.
I was gonna say space travel, commercial flight.
Or you just lay
There's
down
some-
and plug a thing into your fucking head and that's all you need to do.
And hook up an IV. That's it. You wouldn't even need to do two. You would just be all in the same cable, the same.
There you
outlet
go.
Hookup. Yeah,
Right.
I'm a genius.
God, think of the old days when we had the IV for food or for liquid, and then the GI tube for food, and then the data line. Back in the day when there were 3 things, and now there's
Now
one.
it's just one. Fuck. That was
How
4 days
fucked
ago.
up was that?
Yeah.
3 tubes in
Yeah.
us when there could have been one. Man, those were some bad times. We had it rough.
If you didn't think about that in the beginning anyway, that's you fucked up as an inventor. But
Have you seen the cartoon The Jetsons?
bits and pieces, sure.
So the way they talked on the phone was a video phone. And I remember as a kid thinking, you know, I wonder if they'll have that, you know, someday. And thinking like, not in my life. You know, like one day, you know, like in 500 years, I wonder if they're going to have that. And we have it.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I'm watching
guess-
this at 10 years old, I'm thinking like, that's so cool. And maybe one day that'll exist. And not at all thinking it's going to be in my lifetime.
Not even that far away. Yeah, it's. I mean, what the hell else is another 20 years gonna bring? I mean, when I got my first phone, it was like a Motorola Razr. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the standard cool guy phone, and you could call whatever contacts, all that shit, camera. But even from that to this, it's like just like leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah.
You can do everything. Your whole fucking life is on your phone. Banking, you know, email, business, whatever whatever it is, it's right there in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I do banking. I do banking on my phone. Yep. Send money around. Fuck.
You ever look at? You've been watching Carnival stock lately.
No.
After this Corona thing slows down, maybe it'll be a good buy. And I think
Could
it was
be.
at 48. Now it's at 11.
You know,
$11.
Netflix started out, you probably remember, they used to mail you DVDs.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. And
Yeah, we never did it, but yeah.
so I did it. And then streaming started to take hold. And Netflix was a little slow on the uptake for streaming. And I'm like, you know what? They're going to figure this out. And their stock went to $2 a share. And I was like, I have confidence in this company. I should buy some stock. And it was at a time, one, when I didn't have a lot of money to do that. And two, when I just kind of wasn't doing that. I was just putting money in my 401k and not. But I had that feeling. I'm like, you know, $2-3 a share. I'm like, you know, if I just bought 1,000 shares, it's almost $400 now. 400 grand. for $2,000 investment.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Like I don't think they're going away. I'll buy 1,000 shares.
You even had, yeah, whenever you had, at least you're not my dad. That's a long time ago. See, it's kind of softened. He's had shit like that where it's a month ago, like shorting freaking Tesla stock when that whole thing happened. He like had it planned out, went over the plan with me, and then he's like, just got to do it. And I'm like, fucking do it this time. You always talk about this shit. And then sure enough, it doesn't do it. And it would have worked. Would have fucking worked. It's just, you got to do it sometimes. That's why they say that some of the older generations are, I'm trying to remember who it is. Is it the boomers? Risk averse generation. Kids who grew up with their parents who were kids during the Great Depression who didn't have anything.
Boomers, yeah. So the older boomers.
So they're saying, yeah, so you're like risk averse because you had to go through that shit. It was terrible.
Well, think about kids that are seeing this. I mean, if this doesn't happen again in their lifetime, this will still have formed. I mean, this is serious shit, you know? What if you're 10 years old and you're like, you can't go to school because there's this virus that's killing people? That's got to be scary. It's going to shape the way you think for the rest of your life. Like, fuck, if that happens again. I mean, it may change the way you... Fuck, it's changing me, and I got some years on you. This is... It will change. It will change the world, and it will change the way people look at the world. I think. I don't know. Fuck. You know, there is a chance that this thing really runs its course in a year and a half, and we could forget about it. 5 years from now, I'll be like, wow, that was a weird time. That'd be great, actually. You know, if this just ran its course and we go another 20, 30 years without any serious fucking thing. Get rid of those wet markets, man.
I still think, and this is not conspiratorial. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it was just something that's being covered up because it was a mistake. I think that was leaked from that lab. Whether intentional or accidental, whatever. I'm not gonna poke at that, but what are the odds that something that's this contagious has been in existence somewhere, and that in China, mind you, one of the most densely populated, like in the cities at least, and then one day nobody has it, and then the next day somebody has it. And it's in the frickin' like, I think it's too much of a coincidence for that not to be the case. Right?
I have no. Yeah, that's your hunch. My hunch is it's just too many animals, too fucking close together, and it happened in the wet market. That's what I think. I mean, you're cutting, there's fucking blood mixing and fluids and, you know, and waste and dripping and the waste being ingested and, you know, it's a petri dish of a bazillion freaking animals. You know, I don't know that
That's
didn't
been going
happen.
on
And I don't think it's crazy. You know, there's some conspiracy people that just believe absurd shit. And I don't think that's an absurd belief, but I think it is just, you know, a total mishmash of a huge set of random and chaotic variables that turns this shit. I mean, the CDC said this, you know, this shit's gonna happen. Bill Gates got interviewed late night by...
No, I watched it, yeah.
I
TED
saw
Talk.
like a minute of it. Oh, it was the Today Show woman, right? The reporter, the anchor. Didn't she interview him?
Wait, was
Well,
this
yeah,
recent,
he did
or was
it.
this like 5
he
years ago?
Well, he did a TED Talk. Yeah, and thought there was going to be some sort of virus, but she re-interviewed him just live the night before last, I think. And
Okay, never mind.
and he's like, yeah, she brought up like, yeah, you did a TED, or you predicted this. Is this the one you predicted? And he's like, yeah, I guess, you know, I made a prediction, and this is basically what it is. So yeah, I guess this is it. But anyway, I wish I had watched more, but it was late and I fell asleep. Anyway, I'd like to go back and see it. But
He didn't really, yeah.
But I mean,
in his
so
TED. He
what
didn't
you
really
get
go
the
too far into it, but
but you had what the 1918 Spanish flu and then the 1950 whatever. I mean, these things have happened.
bubonic plague type shit. It's just freaking.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's scary as hell. I don't know. The only thing you can hope is that, like, with uh, modern technology, like we have a better chance at survival, and um, who fucking knows? Maybe this is like the new kind of. Maybe this is a Darwin thing. It's like, hey, uh, wheat, chaff,
Well,
social distancing, wear a mask. Yeah. I don't know.
yeah, maybe. It certainly is. I mean, Darwin would say, "Hey, this is this is totally normal. This is totally normal. This is
Because,
nothing out of the
like,
ordinary."
yeah. And, like, I do have the ability, it's within my power to control whether or not I get sick. All I have to do is just do the right things. It's not like up in the air, right? I can just completely isolate myself if I needed to, go to the extreme. But I'm not. My parents leave the house. Brothers leave the house. I don't know where the hell they go. Come back and bring that shit all in this place. But if you fail at that, that's an evolutionary mistake. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's judgmental.
Well,
I should take that back.
no, it's not judgmental because it's a set of choices, right? And it's a risk, and I would say there is. I don't know because I know your mom and dad, and they're both very smart. And I was going to suggest, that there's, I don't know, maybe it's wisdom. I don't know, but survival of the fittest. Yeah, if you choose to live in an environment, I mean, if you choose to not take chances, that's an evolutionary mistake too, right? Because with chances come rewards, right? Like take a chance in business.
Right,
Holy shit! I invented an antibiotic, right? Penicillin was a mistake or a coincidence.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So was Viagra.
Damn.
Viagra they were looking at for heart medicine, and they're like, holy shit, people are getting boners.
Getting a raging heart. They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down, Bill. Jeez.
Well, it makes all the
I'm
sense.
just
So
taking your pulse.
yeah, they were trying to come up with pills that increased circulation. It just so happens
you go.
it focuses on your genitalia. Did you know if a woman takes Viagra, she'll get bigger and better orgasms?
I did not know that.
Yes. So
I'll have to
Viagra
keep
goes
that
to
in
the
my back
crotch.
pocket.
There you go. Yeah, don't give her a roofie, give her a Viagra.
I think that's still just as bad. Just putting it on the record there.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. But hey, ladies,
yeah.
Little blue pill. Shakes and quakes
You're
get
welcome.
better and bigger.
You learn 8 Ball is just a freaking wealth of knowledge, baby. We're helping everybody now.
You
Especially
bet,
when
man.
everyone's all locked up. Yeah.
You bet. And Kroger's at 12 in Halstead. It's like $2 a pill.
They sell it just over the counter?
No.
Oh, no, you have to get a prescription for it.
No.
I was going to say.
Spinal cord injuries drive the use of Viagra. Did I tell you the whole story with Viagra and pricing?
Yeah, we went over it.
$700 versus $24. $700, 24. I'm at GoodRx. $700. I'm like, GoodRx says 500, and then like, wait a minute, Kroger says $24. And the guy's like, that can't be right. You're never going to get it for that price. I said, transfer the prescription down there. And the guy at the counter was funny. I said, hey, I got this prescription, and he looks $24. He said, this can't be right. I'm like, right there, buddy.
He's like, oh, okay.
Anyway.
He's like, there you go. Have a good one. Yeah. If they're not advertising that, that's stupid. But anyway, we didn't even get to what I wanted to talk about. So with
how long have we been on? It's probably been an hour, hasn't it?
Yeah, just
almost
shy, a few minutes. Yeah, let's get this out of the way and then we can call it.
Yeah.
Wait. What? Yeah. I just want to talk about. I see this perfect storm when we talked about earlier in the show. This movie type situation for the past few years, it's just been like a tragedy, comedy, drama. I don't know. This is going to be so amazing. I watch Biden and I see him. Today I was joking with my brother. Well, I didn't know he went to Georgia Tech because he's a rambling wreck. The guy doesn't make any fucking sense half the time. What are they going to do come debate time? And he's like, it's like Michael Scott. He starts these sentences. He doesn't know where they go, and he hopes he finds them along the way, and that's it. To me, it just is ridiculous how it got this far.
Yeah, well, because it wasn't. No, I think when Democrats did what they did to replace Bernie with Biden, I don't think it was perfectly evident. Obviously, it wasn't that he was failing to the degree that he is. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him that much lately. Is it? I mean, is it getting worse, or is it just worse the more you see him, or both? Maybe
It's just very. It's just like it's like just constant. You can watch. Go on YouTube and like type in a compilation video. The thing that he does is he just like. Here he'll do this. You saw Chris is asking me, Charlie, how do you think we're gonna fix whatever healthcare in America? That's a great question, Chris. So now one of the things that I've been doing here's the thing with that. What we're gonna do is get the right people in. It's like he goes on the sentence and doesn't know where the hell it's going.
you know.
Is like an answer to itself. I don't know.
One of the things that was alarming to me is he was asked a question about something that, kind of needed to get done to move society forward. And he goes, and we have laws. We'll use, that, we use that law. And then he kind of stopped. And he couldn't even think of the policy, or we have laws and we'll use, and again, he paused and he said, we'll use that law. And it was something, and I think I knew what it was. This was a couple of weeks ago. But he would have and should have known. But he's like, yeah, that law. No, he said there's laws out there. He said out there. That to me said, his head. Out there. Like that his consciousness, he's not all there. Like there's shit out there. He's like, I'm in my head, and then now the rest of the world's like that he's becoming disconnected from reality. That law. He said, yeah, that law. Oh my gosh.
It's one of the best ways I've ever heard a politician describe what a law really is. It's just this thing. It exists. It was written down, and now it's natural law. It's magic. All these wizards got together and they waved their wands, and now it's a rule.
So, so maybe he's more. Maybe he's more together now than ever, and we're just looking at it the wrong way.
That's impossible. The only reason I texted you earlier, I said it's a callback to an earlier episode we did, is because you predicted that if Biden was going to be the candidate, he would beat Trump. Do you maintain that prediction?
No. I think it's up in the air. Here's the thing. I was saying that this morning. I had a guy, older guy, from Indian, and he always used to say the ting. And so there were two managers, and we managed a pretty big department. So there was a guy, he was from Brazil, and he would always imitate the guy from India. So it's my imitation of a Brazilian guy imitating an Indian guy. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So now when you say that, it's a guy named Ron imitating a guy named VJ. Here's the thing. The thing is, so roundabout way to get where I was going. The thing is, I would have said that in terms of facts and data and politics and policy and the Constitution and the way DC truly works, having been in the White Office, or the White House rather, and in office for 8 years, that Biden would take Trump down in the debates. And now Trump will be able to take him down just by doing what Trump does, which is taking people down. He'll just throw nonsensical shit at him, or, that's all he has to do is just throw nonsensical shit at him, whatever, low energy Jeb, Little Hands Marco, Crooked Hillary. He'll take Biden down. He'll get him flustered. He'll get him backpedaling, and it's going to be ugly, man. I'm going to feel bad for the guy. So I do retract that he will beat him. I think.
There you go.
Now I think there's a chance. I think there's enough vitriol and exhaustion from Trump to want him out. Here's the thing. I think the choice for vice president is very important. Very important. And
who wants to team up with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It's
in
like
the first, I was a huge John McCain fan.
Choice.
I was a huge
yeah.
John McCain fan. I really wanted to vote for him for president. And then he got Sarah Palin on board, and he had some heart trouble at that time. And that was the first Obama. I voted for Obama in the first election. I'm still kind of surprised I didn't vote for John McCain. Love that guy. But Sarah Palin, I'm like, if that guy has a heart attack, this chick can't, that's maybe sexist, whatever, can't run the country. She can't run the country. She just doesn't have the experience, the temperament, the capacity, the intelligence. So I voted, that was what pushed me over the hump. So I don't know, man. Biden's not all there.
My gears are turning here. Hang on. Here's a good play. And if they're not thinking of this, I should be his goddamn campaign manager. Just get someone, just pick a vice president who's going to be like everything that is president. Just pick the right candidate. So he wins the nomination, and you run on his health risk. He's like, I'm going to die in office anyway, so you're going to end up with, name a person. But you could frickin' get that, and it might not even be true. He could live a long and healthy life, but
that would be one bizarre campaign.
That would be awesome.
I'm either gonna die or be removed from office for incompetency.
But do you want that guy in, or do you want to elect?
I'll be the first to say I'm losing it. So I got a good year in me. I'm thinking I got a good year in me. So you're going to get me for a year,
Yes.
and you're going to get him or her for 3. Hey.
Yeah.
Right? And what's better?
It's just like
let's
an
have,
easy in. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be bizarre.
That's one way to do it. No.
That would be
Yeah, shit, what was I
totally
gonna
and completely bizarre.
Oh, 2 last things. I have a prediction, and then I have a statement. I predict that the debates will get so lively, Biden will threaten Donald Trump with violence because of a couple things. If you've seen him treat people when he does those town halls, he has a temper, and it's like an old age thing. You've seen what that can do to people. I would imagine that's why, and his confusion makes him arrogant. So it's like he is always under the assumption that he's on the winning side, right, or the right thing. But I don't know.
I agree. I agree with those last 2 things you said. Spot on. I would say, I would predict that he'll lose it to some degree. I'm not sure he'll violence it. I mean, that's a good prediction.
I ought to punch you in the mouth.
That's a
That's what
fun
I'm
prediction.
picturing.
We should make squares. The how's he
Hell
going to
yeah.
lose at squares? But I think he'll lose it. I think he will lose his temper in some fashion. I'm not sure the guy has violence in him. I don't know, but I do see the that kind of old age arrogance. I'm just right. Get off my lawn, right?
Shit like that. Yeah.
What
He's
was
living
it? So
like
you
right
said the old
here.
age arrogance, and what was the one you said before that?
No, that was it. I said he's
No, there
going
were two
to.
things though. The one was like,
He's got a
the,
temper. It's like he
yeah,
gets angry.
right,
Um,
yeah.
like those town halls. When anybody brings up his son Hunter, whoa. Like Biden is not happy about that shit. All Trump has to do is bring that shit up, and it's
You're right.
over. He
You're
lost it on a
right.
stranger.
You're
Yeah.
right. Because that's the one
And all that stuff's
thing.
true.
Trump is really good at pushing people's buttons. Really good.
Yeah. How's your son? Is he smoking meth or is he in Russia selling secrets? Oh, I'm sorry, it was crack. My mistake. Crack.
That's the way. I
Um,
mean, you're doing the funny version of it, but that's the way. That's how he's going to debate him.
It's hell yeah. And that's if you're Trump and you want to win, that's what you got to do. It's dirty
You know,
shit, but
the
one lifetime.
DNC can put somebody in. They don't have to cast all the delegates. I mean, it's in the. If I'm not mistaken,
So
it's in
that's
the
the
election
last thing
laws.
is he actually going to be right?
Do they cast the delegates or do they pick somebody?
And part of me as much as I would love to see that, I would still feel bad for the guy.
Oh,
in
oh
some,
my
like-
gosh. Yes, I think he's
Yeah.
I think he's a very good human being. And this is going to be fucking hard on him.
It's going to be a train wreck. Like it's sad, right? But it's going to run its course regardless. And if he's in that spot, and like I said, arrogance, where he's like, I can do it. You know, I'm as strong as I was when I was 20. Like shit like that just doesn't end well.
Yeah.
And what, Trump's 73. How old is Biden? 75?
Don't know. 70 something.
Either way.
And Bernie's 77.
Bernie's
Yeah.
got it together. Like he's fine. He kind of talks weird, but that's just his personality.
Who?
Whereas Biden, like Bernie,
Oh. Yeah.
like his mind is fine, I should say. God, I feel like that's like almost like saying a racial slur. The old guy's losing it.
Ageism.
It's
You're a bad man.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
a young white man. Mr. White Privilege.
sorry about it.
Sorry. Sorry,
Anyway,
guilty.
that's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
All right, man. Should we wrap it?
yeah, let's do it.
It was a good one. We're back on track.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
forgot to do one thing.
Forgot to do one thing.
Will-
Oh, let's do. Will, can I ask it?
Yeah, go ahead. You got
I
the
haven't
last-
asked one in a
asked
while.
Last week too. That's okay.
Charlie and I agree that Biden will lose it should he be involved in a presidential debate with Trump. Will it be a threat of violence?
Yes, definitely. Woo!
Wow. All right, Charlie wins. So
Not just yes, definitely.
we got to put together
Double-
squares. We got to put together squares. How's he going to lose
We
it?
It's gonna be huge. I bet you. I don't know. The guy's just gonna freaking. Because he's lost it before. You go online, like watch it. He has yelled, like raised his voice at strangers.
You hit. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. If he goes to like to Hunter, that's a button. Bam.
And the worst part about all that is that there's evidence and it's real. I don't know about the Ukraine stuff, but the crack.
Trump
and
won't
shit
even have
is-
to go deep. He won't even have to go deep. Like I said, that's the one thing he's a master at. That's how he became the nominee. Just pushing people's buttons. Cliches and taking people down. Going low early.
And part of me thinks that Biden won't even prepare for that because in his eyes, maybe he's old-fashioned, but that's like a family matter, and it's not. It's like we're having a presidential debate. What? Why are you?
They'll have
You
him
know?
prepared for that. They will have him prepared. The question is, can he execute? And I don't think he'll be able to.
Because you have no idea what he's going to say, how bad it could possibly be.
Right, and how well can he retain and perform on the preparation? Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It's gonna be interesting, man.
the 8-ball has spoken.
The 8-ball is spoken. All right, man. There's a little bit of 6:30. I still got time to have some tequila, maybe cook a steak.
Nice.
Well, if you eat with your family, take your phone.
It's right here. Look, it's going in the. There it is.
There
On
you
the right
go.
Side.
Go to the phone early. When you're eating, just have your phone and just eat. They'll be like, "What are you doing?" Just say, "I'm doing what you guys did last night. I'm just getting started
Bored.
early."
Yeah, right. Started. Yeah.
Following suit. All right, I'm gonna play some tunes. All right, we are tuning in. And I was first on. I'm first off. Say goodbye to Charlie.
My show.
We're out. Later, people.